minute since I sat down and did this, but you know, life happens. If you want to know more about that, you can smash the link down below to my Patreon, where you can support me in all my creative endeavors and also receive a nifty little update every month as to what I'm up to. But if not, just know that I've been busy doing my thing, but I still think a hell of a lot about disability and representation. And I want to delve into that today, specifically talking about diversity campaigns, advertising campaigns, and how they seem to consistently exclude disability. So let's get into that. Okay, diversity advertising campaigns. You know the type that I'm talking about. The type that seeks to portray an authentic and real reflection of our society, that seeks to highlight and showcase the beauty that can be found across the spectrum of humanity, that celebrates different shapes, sizes, colors, genders, so on and so forth. Now, these campaigns are great because, you know, they help people to feel valid and worthy and have a strong sense of self-confidence. And they're also a really great marketing tool because if people can see themselves reflected in a campaign, they believe that a product is designed for them and they're more likely to buy it. So I want to ask, why is it that disability seems to be consistently left out when we are trying to showcase the diversity of our society? Is disability merely forgotten? If so, how is that possible when we are talking about the biggest minority in the world that makes up 15 to 20% of our total population, and you know, a minority group that includes 1 in 5 individuals? Or is it that disability is still seen within our society as being too unattractive to be included in campaigns that are designed to celebrate, you know, difference and diversity and the things that make us unique? And I want to ask, what kind of impact does this have for disabled people within our society and how they are perceived on a whole, especially when it comes to value and worth? Now, when we're talking about disability, we tend to focus on these so-called bigger issues. Disability unemployment, a lack of representation of disability in higher education, abuse, neglect, accessibility. And whilst these things are all really, really important, I believe that we can look to representation as being almost the core of the issue. If the dominant narratives within our society tell us that people with disabilities are victims of their condition, or that they must overcome disability, that disability is a problem that has to be solved in order for a person to be successful and to have worth within our society, then how does that position individuals to perceive people with disabilities? How does that position employers, lawmakers, people in education to perceive individuals with disabilities? Now, I wholeheartedly believe that the worth of an individual cannot be found in the worth of another, that it has to be something we find within ourselves. But I also believe that we need an environment that encourages us to do that. And this is where representation comes into play. How are young people, young individuals with disabilities, supposed to seek out the best possible futures, not only for themselves but for others, if they are, you know, taught from a young age that they're not on the same level as everyone else, that they're not normal, and that disability isn't a natural and normal part of the human condition? How are young people supposed to strive to be the best that they can if they don't have role models in which they can follow in the footsteps of? And that's why when I'm talking about representation, I'm not talking about you know, one-off, you know, sort of tokenistic depictions of disability, you know, which we sometimes see where businesses use disability to leverage themselves, to make them seem inclusive and to sort of create a feel-good moment for people without disabilities. I'm talking about meaningful representation, where businesses and brands come on board to be consistent allies to people with disabilities, and they make a conscious decision to consistently portray people with disabilities as a normal and important part of our society. Because I think if we're relying on these one-off symbolic gestures, then that's not going to lead to fundamental transformative change for people with disabilities. It's not going to lead to disability being seen as normal and to help increase things like employment and representation within higher education. And people with disabilities can see right through that. They're not going to get behind brands that use disability in a tokenistic way. We want to see that we are being considered as an important and valid part of society, and a brand is considering what they can do to really be inclusive. And it's a big market we're talking about. Again, 15 to 20% of the population has a disability, 1 in 5 individuals. That's a whole lot of money that we're waiting to invest in people that truly believe in our value and in our worth. I think as a society we've become pretty well adjusted to the injustice of certain minority groups. And we all need to take a stand to make sure that when we are trying to depict this meaningful and real and authentic portrayal of society, that we are really looking to include everyone. Because every individual has something to bring to society if they're given the opportunity to do so. And whilst I don't think representation is the be-all and end-all, I think it is necessary in creating transformative change within our society. So I guess this is really a call out to brands and businesses to consider if they are portraying disability, and if not, how they can do it better, how they can connect with the world's biggest minority, a really big market. And I guess for people with disabilities, I'm here to encourage you to be your own representation. Disability really does put the D in diversity. We're here, we are strong, we are powerful, we are sexy, we are attractive, we are creative, we're knowledgeable. We all have something to bring to the table if we are given a seat at that table. So do your bit to showcase that in your own way, and support businesses that are trying to be inclusive and that are trying to create real and meaningful change. But most importantly, remember to stay shiny, because I love you.